G'day and welcome to another episode of Healthy Heathcote 90-Day Challenge. I'm Lee Evans, member for Heathcote, and this is Emily. Hello Emily.
Hi Lee.
What are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about sunshine and the effect that sunshine has on your health.
Oh, excellent. And I know it always makes you feel happier if you do get a little bit of sunshine in your life.
It does, and we're going to get into that. So I just want to give a background of how sunshine affects us. So mainly it's through vitamin D. That's the main thing we're going to talk about today, because when UVB rays hit our skin, we actually make cholecalciferol. Long word, it's called D3. So we'll just call it D3. We make D3 in our skin. And then that goes through our bodies and goes to our liver. And from there we make 25-hydroxyvitamin D. I won't say that again. And that's actually what's measured. So if you get a blood test for vitamin D, then that's the one that's measured. And then that goes and that becomes the active form of vitamin D called calcitriol. And that gets created either by our immune system or in our kidneys. And that's the one that actually goes and does lots of great things in our body. That's the active form. But the problem is when you wear sunscreens or hats or things like that, it blocks the UVB rays. And so those don't get to our skin, so we don't create the vitamin D to start with.
So how much vitamin D do we need? I mean, how much sunshine do we need to make that proper amount of vitamin D? I know if you overdo it, you'll get severe sunburn.
You don't want to get sunburned. Yeah, so you don't want to be sunburned. So we need to make sure that doesn't happen. But yeah, we do need to make sure that we get enough. So it's generally accepted if you get about 20 minutes out with as much skin showing as possible, some arms, maybe some legs. It's hard. Even in Australia, we don't get a lot of sunshine. So in the winter, because the sun isn't up as long and it's really low in the sky in the winter. So honestly, usually my family, we don't wear sunscreen in the winter to try to get as much sunshine as you can. But in the summer, sort of before 10 a.m., after 4 p.m., you can try to get outside for about 20 minutes or so. Because the problems happen if you don't get that sunshine, you're not creating the vitamin D. And the other thing, we need vitamin D in order to absorb calcium. Mm-hmm. So you can eat all the calcium that you want, but if you don't have any vitamin D, then you can't actually absorb it. So it's not coming out of your diet. So what your body would do is actually take it out of your bones, because you've got lots stored in your bones, so it'll take the calcium out of your bones.
And that's osteoporosis.
To use that, exactly, at least osteoporosis. Osteomalacia is what's before osteoporosis, or just softening of the bones. And it's rickets in kids, and it becomes a softening of the bones, and then they become deformed. So we obviously don't want that to happen, and our bodies also need it for proper nerve functioning and blood clotting and muscle functioning. So we need calcium for lots of things, so we need the vitamin D. So and some other things that, like, we know it's important for bones, but it's also important for your immune system, and this the vitamin D in particular, and it decreases inflammation. They've actually found that asthma and arthritis symptoms can be worse if you're lower in vitamin D, so that affects a lot of people. It can also, obesity and type 2 diabetes are also associated with low levels of vitamin D, so there's lots of things to think about. So we talked about going out in the sun, and there's the other popular way, a lot of people supplement with vitamin D, because we wear sunscreens and we wear hats, so because we don't want to get sunburned, because that's not fun for anybody. So a lot of people do supplement. So in particular, menopausal women are more likely to need to be able to have to supplement. Or if you've got dark skin, you actually don't create as much vitamin D. So that's more important, that they might need to supplement. And also babies. If they're a breastfed baby, if their mother is deficient in vitamin D, then they're probably not going to get enough vitamin D through the breast milk. So it is, if you have a baby, you might want to get your levels checked. Or the other thing, if you're menopausal or have dark skin, also times when you might want to get checked. Or if you tend to wear a lot of clothing, if you're wearing clothing outside all the time, then you might want to get your levels checked and make sure that, or talk to your naturopath or your doctor about taking a supplement.
Well, in Australia, because it's a bit of a fine line, or not really a fine line, but because people are frightened of the sun and the severe spectrum of what happens if you get too much sun. Yeah. People are covering up a lot more, which is sensible. Yeah. But you do still need to get that amount of sunshine a day.
Yeah, exactly. And so people do end up being deficient in Australia, even though we have this nice sunny climate. People in Australia are still deficient, so there's a high degree of vitamin D deficiency in Australia that we still need to be careful of. So, so our task this week is actually to get a little bit of sunshine.
I would imagine while we're out on our walk, we could have that little bit of sunshine by then.
We could do that when we're out walking, exactly. So if you're walking in the morning before 10 a.m., not as important. The time of day does have a big effect on it. So we are going into winter, so you could probably do it in the middle of the day, just at noon even, and you'd be okay with not getting sunburned. So we try, let's say 10 a.m., go outside and get 20 minutes this week.
Excellent.
And that's our new task. So we'll just add on 20 minutes of sunshine. And we also want to do, so we talked about buying the dirty veggies and fruit as buying organic. So we want to try to get 3 this week. So off the list that I've posted, try to buy 3 of those this week as organic. No processed sugar. We cut that out. Try to cut that out. That's one of our challenges. So try to get all the sugar, all the Tim Tams and cakes and stuff like that, and all the extra stuff. Try to get rid of that. Protein at every meal, even if you just add on a little bit, try to get a little bit in every single meal. 90 minutes of walking. Again, you can split that up however you want. You can do 3 lots of 30, 2 lots of 45, or just go out for 90. Whatever you want to do. 2 liters of water a day, no caffeine, and no soft drink at all.
Yep.
So not even in the morning again. And that's it. Don't forget to check out the Healthy Heathcote Facebook page for more tips and recipes and things to get you along, and share your stories there.
Thank you very much, Emily. So next week, what are we doing?
Next week we're talking about alcohol.
Oh no.